All right, another week, another episode. Last week, we did not get an episode in because I was down in the New Orleans for the U.S. Open Warhammer tournaments, and we're back this week. Got some of the crew here. Man, might have to put out a casting call. We can get a casting couch. Um, but got Ben Sherwin. What's happening, Ben?
Templar.
And Dan motherfucking Salmons. What's up, Dan?
Yep.
Duncan bitched out on us tonight. So I actually had someone down in New Orleans tell me they like hearing Duncan. And I'm like, yeah, when he shows up on the episode, he's
getting ready for tax season right now.
Yeah, it's tax season in October. But so we've I guess we can kind of start it off so Ben can get his masturbating out of the way. Black Templars all over the place, man. What's your hype level right now?
My hype level is I've had a boner for 4 days. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's healthy, but we're here.
Go see a doctor.
I think those pills say you're supposed to see the doctor at this point, right?
Yeah, I asked Root, and Root said I'm probably okay.
Okay. So oh, that's good. No, like I saw the one model that everybody's kind of giving a hard time. Is it the Castellan or however you say it?
Dude,
Castellan?
that's me in power armor, baby. You couldn't ask for something better.
I think it looks just like the old art, man. And I'm like, that thing is fucking dope. I don't care if it's Primaris or not. So I think I'm end up picking up a box set just to pick up a box set because the stuff looks super cool.
All the models are just fantastic,
Yeah.
I think.
So I've been out of the loop. I've been a rambling man and traveling all over the place the last month, and I'm kind of worn out. So I've been falling out of the loop as far as like Warhammer news and some of the other stuff. What have you guys seen anything cool rules wise from so far, or anything they talked about been dope or really get?
Well, the one thing that they get is it looks like they get their vows back, and they get to do it at the beginning of the game after the mission briefing. So it looks like it's customizable, match to match. And the two that we've seen, one of them's okay, the other one's pretty good, but overall, I think it's going to add a nice flavor that the other Marines are going to probably be jealous of.
Yeah, I like the fact there's a good thing and a bad thing to them. So,
well, they used to be like that too. Like the old vows, they were like that.
oh, were they? I
Yep.
don't remember.
So, one of them used to be you couldn't fall back out of combat too. I think that was the one where if you got shot and took a casualty, you got to move forward, but you also couldn't fall back.
Yeah, my only questions is do they keep devout push like it is, and do they keep their 5-up feel no pain? That's my big questions.
Why did you like them if they didn't have those?
Yeah, they wouldn't even register on my radar if they didn't have those. So
yeah,
but one of our locals is back to playing his Black Templars. He's all hyped up and he's running that stupid Terminator brick again. So
God, who came up with that Terminator brick? What a jerk.
I enjoyed not having to fight that thing. So
look, every time I play somebody who hasn't played that list and they're just like, oh, 10 Terminators, like the level of disrespect that unit gets and the level of respect they have after the game is pretty astronomical.
Yeah, go ahead.
All I was gonna say is like, as long as it's not like a top tier player, because most of them would see like, okay, well, this is actually really hard to move with a 1-up, 0-up in cover.
He was playing on last week in the garage, and he gets all excited because he rolled like a 6-inch advance on his advance, and then I think he rolled like maybe a boxcar charge, but they moved ridiculously far. But all he did is just yeet him into the middle of the other guy's army, basically. And they just got gangbanged the next turn. So,
the Terminators, well, they don't have support. They were just gonna.
Yeah, they YOLO'd too hard. They got too excited. So,
I'm gonna be the better man and wish upon you guys a better codex supplement than an index, because that's not what happened with the Space Wolves, in my opinion. So,
agreed.
Oh, dude, you got it rough.
Yeah,
everybody knows.
There's good stuff in that book. I just it's weird that in my opinion, my index had a lot more flexibility and flavorable ways to play that army than the actual codex that wound up dropping. And and I know everybody that's listening to this podcast has heard a year and a half worth of salt on it now, but I don't want to wish that on anybody else. So I'm going to wish that you get all your little heart's desires to go crusade with that book. So It'd be dope if you could
Ah,
finish out the season with them.
I want to. I want to. We'll
So
see. They
for
got to compete at
Cornhusker,
a
are they on for Cornhusker?
no.
No,
Ah.
just Tim's lame.
Okay. So,
I even tried to pay Tim off, didn't work.
I even said I'm I think we should be able to use them.
yeah. It's not, I don't know, it's a GT, but like it's not the biggest GT. So you might as well just throw it in there and see what happens. It's kind of I mean, we ran a GT the day 9th edition dropped and managed to do it all right. So you guys were there.
Yeah.
1 year at Renegade, I let the new Eldar Codex through,
Oh,
but like it dropped the day before the GT. But I like put out a poll and I was like, all right, guys, you want me to run this? And if so, all rules disputes are subject to my ruling, so
yeah,
wasn't
that's
the
fair.
greatest idea.
That's fair. So I guess we'll go through a little bit tonight. We can talk a little bit about ITC standings because people are starting to get mindful of them because the ITC season is running down to an end here in a couple months. And Lord Marshall, we're still on hiatus, so there's not a lot of Lord Marshall news. The season kicks off in what, 2 weekends?
Yeah. 2 weekends from this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so towards the end of October, Cornhusker GT up in Omaha. It's ran by the Bug Eater crew. Dan, you playing or are you judging?
I'm playing in this and I'm judging Bug Eater next year.
Okay. So the Omaha guys put on a good tournament. So if you're looking for some early Lord Marshall GT points or just some ITC GT points at all, go to the Bug Eater website and get you a ticket for the Cornhusker. So are you going, Ben?
As of right now, yep.
Okay. So
We'll see.
I might try and work my way into the Games Workshop Austin event because if I go to it, got a free place to stay.
Did you put yourself on the wait list?
I did put myself on the wait list. So
Yeah, I'm on the wait list, but that's the only GB event that's full, and I have a feeling that one's gonna actually stay full.
yeah,
That's because it's in Texas, right?
Texas.
Yeah.
So yeah, New Orleans wasn't bad. New Orleans wasn't bad. I'll give a full review outside of this episode because there's a lot of people I need to probably address or say, give some thanks to. But overall, it wound up being a good trip, a good event. I always do this thing where I tell myself that I'm gonna take Space Wolves and have a good time. And I think going 5-3 with them wasn't bad, wasn't the worst. It was respectable showing. And that was a 5-3 where I went second in 7 games. So I did not have any kind of Dan Salmon's luck. I didn't go first in a game until game 6 at the end of day 2. I got to go first. And by then it was a little too late because I already had 2 losses under the belt. But the one big one that I was pretty proud of was, I got lined up with AdMech round 3 and I went second and I still managed to win that game. So, AdMech's a pretty crap matchup for Space Wolves, but I do think there was a little bit of piloting error on the AdMech side of the house. But that army was vastly superior to mine in a lot of different ways, and I still managed to pull off the W. So I was pretty happy with that.
Nice.
And yeah. So, but they ran a good tournament. I mean, there was some cool stuff. They basically set up, a miniature Games Workshop store. There was a bunch of Forge World stuff in there. And I've been, I don't know if it's going to be viable or not, but like I don't know if you guys go through some hobby burnout sometimes, but like I'm tired of painting Space Wolves. I've got like 5 generations of Space Wolves painted since the 90s. And this latest one just kind of, for whatever reason, like I'm just done painting Space Wolves for a while. And I've always liked the idea of a lot of Eldar Wraith stuff. And so I picked up a Forge World kit for the is it the Wraith Seer?
Yeah.
But the Forge World Wraith Seer. What's that?
That's a pretty sweet kit, actually.
Yeah. So I snagged one of those out of their Forge World stuff that they had. And then they also had some Lord of the Rings stuff. So I got they had a whole bunch of clear casted models that was a a blister of all the ring bearers. And if you guys are fans of Lord of the Rings or not, I thought that was pretty solid. So I snagged that because I don't have to paint those. I can just base them, and the ring bearers are supposed to be invisible when they wear the one ring. So it was, uh, and then
I like it.
yeah, it was a good time. It was a good trip. You know, Mike Brandt, you know, steered a pretty good tournament, and Ryan Schwartz and the crew, they had good judges. Salty John was down there judging. He's who I wound up meeting at the airport. Not meeting, but we ran into each other at the airport and hung out waiting on shuttles and got to the hotel and slept together. And Salty John is I think he's a pretty cool dude. So
He's a bitch. Sorry.
I like him. I think he's all right. So, but I'll get in depth away from it. So that was my big thing. And I was pretty happy to get to do that. But man, am I fucking tired of traveling. So I'm probably gonna stick around the house for a couple weekends. But that's it for me as far as gaming and stuff's concerned. And I think I got an RTT next month. I think I'm hitting mid-mo.
Renegade?
If I do Austin, I can't do Renegade. So and the difference between Austin and Renegade is if I do Austin, I got a free place to stay. If I do Renegade, I got to pay for a hotel. And
What?
if I do Austin, the potential for Laura to go with me.
What do you gotta pay for a hotel? What the fuck?
We don't sleep. Gotta sleep with the Huskies.
Yeah.
Okay.
They sleep in our room, so you'd have to be on our bed too. That's
fine.
Way.
That's fine. You can be the big spoon. I don't care.
Yes, ma'am.
So.
My wife's sitting next to me. She's looking at me like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean,
If Bam wants to do a 3-way.
Yeah, tell her I'm thick with 2 C's.
He says he's thick with 2 C's. She's laughing right now.
So that's Dan, what are you up to lately? What have you been doing?
We're working a lot, trying to get some painting done, trying to knock out my orcs. But
are you staying on the orc train, or you jumping off?
I've been trying to come up with just Imperium lists, but it's just with every new book that comes out, it gets harder and harder.
I heard a dirty little rumor involving AdMech with you, man.
If I want an Imperium score, the easiest Imperium score right now is AdMech in a night. So I might do.
You might?
It depends. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do. I can't write I want too much stuff in my AdMech list.
You motherfucker! You can't be serious right now.
Huh?
This crusade you had against me playing AdMech, and here you are, the pot calling the kettle black. You motherfucker!
The only reason I'd play him is to get an Imperium score. So if I do LVO, then I can have a 4th score. But because I only have 2 right now. But otherwise, I probably stick with the orcs. I've been trying. Cookie played Ben's Grey Knight list last weekend as we were just doing a test to see how it did versus the orcs. So it was.
What'd you think?
It was very bloody. It was. I think I ended up winning, but it was very bloody. And Cookie, we're still learning the Grey Knight list. So
I played a rip off of your orc list with my rip off of Ben's Grey Knights list, and I've done all right. But I can see how that battle could go either way.
Well, like turn 1, I think because he did Tide of Shadows. Is that what it is? He did Tide of Shadows, and then most of his shit was off. Like all of his little stuff was off the board. I don't remember. I think I killed like a servitor on turn 1. Like I did almost nothing on turn 1. But I think I put a little bit of damage on a dude. But it was definitely a weird game because stuff was not dying as fast as it normally is. So
that's kind of like what Root and I came to the conclusion of that. It's like these 2 lists just don't do a whole lot to each other turn 1.
Yeah, it was a very weird. It was a weird game because I put the Squigosaur back in, but he's not a while we stand in this list, so he can actually go up and do things. So he ended up doing some good work killing a baby carrier. But yeah, it was a weird game. Like just we might test it again Cookie actually knows what the fuck he's doing. Because he was the psychic power who was having what was fucking him up a little bit. I
Yeah.
think
There's a learning curve with that list. It's not plug and play, but once you get it down, it's pretty dope. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, he did the most tilting thing about it is he can sit back, and he was doing. I don't know if he did. I think he did raise the banners, and then he did the psychic power one, where you cast the thing. So like, he literally could just sit on his side of the board and max his secondaries if that was what he was kind of trying to do. So it's having that ability is pretty damn strong.
Agreed.
Yeah. But at least
Yeah.
playing that game made us, because we were sitting there. I didn't. Now that we played it, I better understand how you killed like Tim Castellan as quick as you did. I didn't realize how the psychic powers and the strats for sword bearers or sword brethren.
Yeah, sword bears.
Sword bearers. That's the fuck up the vehicles brotherhood.
Well, and we were, and I even afterwards the game, I think I messaged Ben, and I was like, "Why the hell are these inceptors in this detachment?" And he's like, "Oh, they're the ones that do the psychic powers." And I was like, "Oh, okay, now we get it," because we're just like, why are these in here? This doesn't make any sense. But it was one of those,
Right, because they're like way killier with Prescient Brotherhood.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole game. We're like, this doesn't make sense. Were very confused for a minute there. Then as soon as we played it and talked to you, like, okay, oh, it makes sense now. So
Yeah, so the Dread Knights don't have to engage at all. They can just sit back.
yeah. So Ben
Well,
does
then
put
having those
thought
Dread
into his
Knights hitting on
list.
twos is pretty damn dope too with the Tech Marines.
Yeah. Well, God, dude, his the Super Dread Knight guy was a bitch slapping Megatrax pretty
Hammer
hardcore.
Jesus or
That
or
was John Cena. That's
Yeah.
John
Well,
Cena.
the funny part about it is he was killing stuff too effectively that he was, killing buggies that he was going to try to charge into the unit. So he was like, oh, I just want to peel off a couple wounds, and he'd have like 6 of the psych cannon hits, 6 wounds, 6 go through. I'm like, well, it's a dead buggy. So now your charge is 5 inches longer.
One of the things I like to do with the interceptors though is do the either gate them somewhere or teleport them somewhere, and then do the shoot and move psychic power. Someone will put some dumb chafe on a fucking objective, and you teleport 9 inches away, shoot whatever's on the objective off the objective, and then move on to it. It's like, oh, sorry, what?
Can't do that.
Can't do that anymore?
Nope.
Was I messing up? Was it wrong?
Yep.
What can't you do?
I'm pretty sure you can't gate and then move again. Like that counts as like coming from reserve.
But you can teleport. Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you
I
come
might need to not do that
when
if I'm
you
playing.
come out of strategic reserve, you can't warp time yourself.
Right.
It's the same thing.
But if the unit hasn't moved and it started at the turn on the board,
You could.
I don't know. I think you can then.
that's what I'm saying. Like if you gate them or teleport them, and then shoot
Okay.
and move in the psychic phase, might have to FAQ.
Yeah, I don't know if you deep strike them.
Maybe my trick was cheating. Jesus.
Yeah. That was one thing too that it's one of the reasons, like, again, sometimes you need to play the games to fully appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I think on Cookie's turn 1, I think he went first he went first because he wanted to go second, but he went first. He shot up a plane and got it down to its bottom tier. So on my turn, I moved the plane up to zone out, basically to try to zone him out from being able to teleport anywhere. But then on his turn, he goes and he just smites and kills the plane. And now it's like, oh, I got a double screen. I can't just screen with something weak. That way he killed the plane and he can just teleport into the spot the plane used to be protecting. So there's,
I think that book, because of all the moving pieces and the certain types of units only being able to cast certain types of powers, and not having an idea what the Brotherhoods did in combination with those units and those specific powers, a lot of people kind of slept on that book. I know our local guys were like all over the Thousand Suns. Like everybody wanted to run Thousand Suns. Thousand Suns was awesome. Thousand Suns this, Thousand Suns that. And then like Grey Knights, once everything started finally hitting the table, were like shitting on some of those lists sometimes.
Grey Knights are they're like one of those armies that I feel like it's more so than they can punish people for their mistakes harder than a lot of other people, I think.
Yeah.
You mean the Grey Knight player making the mistakes, or
Well,
other people?
other people, like if you
okay.
like if you like for me, if I didn't if I didn't if I didn't zone out correctly, and which I almost didn't, it took my movement phase. If it was on a clock, I'd have been in trouble. But because you get to zone out into, oh, I got a 2-wound plane. I can't use that to zone out though because it's gonna die and he's gonna teleport in there. There's just a lot of things. Being able to teleport every turn of the game, basically, like they got a lot of options and a lot of ways to potentially punish people. Some of it could be a little risky, raw dog and trying to go for 9-inch charges a lot, but if any of those connect, it could just be like the stupid what's the relic to be able to teleport when you're targeted?
Sigil of Exigence.
Yeah, like that thing was a headache to just get rid of that, because I was like, I need to get rid of it. So and we were going back and forth over where he would teleport to, and I was like, I can't risk it, so I had to like move a plane up to screen out just to stop that thing from getting into a spot to get in my backfield on turn 2. So
And there's kind of a mind game with that too, which is kind of funny.
mhm.
And it's like you can just act pretty fearless with him for a while. And some of it, and then he's pretty tanky with 2-up, 4-up. So you can kind of eat a little bit before you decide, if you wanna bounce him out of there.
He's real tanky in shadow too,
Yep.
with a 1-up,
Yeah.
1-up, 3-up, or whatever it was.
I at one point in time I wasn't big on changing tides. I stayed in the tide of exigence. And then I was like, you know what? Like a couple games I started out in Tide of Shadows, and it actually did pretty well for me. Like the game I played, the Atreus against Reinhardt, like the Tide of Shadows saved my ass because it just a lot of shooting to go second. So
Pretty much every time I go second, I'm Tide of Shadows.
yeah, and then you got warp shaping on the Tech Marine to change it back whenever you're ready for something else. So
Yeah, I actually changed it so it's on both Tech Marines in case one gets jacked, because I definitely left my one guy out and got jacked. And granted, I was already in the tide I needed, but I thought about it. I'm like, what if I needed to change tides here? I'd be screwed. I just let him die.
yep. Did Dilly hop on? Is that Dilly?
Yeah, I'm here.
Where's your
think
video? I can't see your sexy ass face, man.
Oh, I have no clue where my camera's at right now. So
Oh, that means he's masturbating.
yeah.
Mhm. He was masturbating with the camera in the room, so
We got
Well,
Whit.
I was camming, so
Oh,
yeah, I can't cam in my room. I have to cam, in the living room, whatever.
how's rugby been?
It's good. What are we? We're 2-0 right now. So won every game we played. Got another game this weekend. Got to keep it rolling.
Nice. You gonna come back to 40K anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to
Doing Cornhusker.
Cornhusker. Yeah.
Okay.
So going there, I've got some games lining up right now, so I'm gonna be prepping for Cornhusker here next couple weeks.
I'll send Tim
Nice.
a message to post up scenarios and stuff, because I have no idea.
Dan, you go down the Holton this weekend?
No, I'm saving the brownie points because I'm signed up for Cornhusker, and then 2 weeks after that Midmo, and then 2 weeks after that Renegade. That's what my
Okay.
plan is. So I gotta save the brownie points.
Well, good. Well, I got way off track. I think we're gonna talk a little bit about some ITC points and standings. Dan, you want to steer that a little bit, or?
No, just kind of building on. I don't know if we talked about it last time or not, but there were some posts about like the London Grand Tournament, 600 person 5-round event with a cut at the top 4 cut over in England like 2 weeks ago. How like the top, whatever the top in 50 or 70 people is what it was. We're getting over 200 ITC points. Here, I'm
It was
looking at it
ridiculous.
right
Yeah.
now. Oh, I'm scrolling. The top 94. So the top 94 people at the London GT, which had, it was a good 600 person tournament, but the top 94 out of 598 got over 200 ITC points.
How many undefeateds were
That, I mean, they're don't even go there. That whole that but a normal like a 60 some person GT or major awards a little over 200 points. So there was a conversation on Reddit about just the ITC points skewing, and they changed it in the past, but now we're back to the super majors. We're back to a ton of super majors, and something that I don't know if we talked about here, but I've been saying for a long time is that if you want to do well in the ITC, you just go to all these super majors popping up, and we have a great example now. One of the Art of War persons, Jack Harpster, he's ranked 3rd in the ITC right now, without winning an event. But
Not even an RTT.
no, he was on the winning team for the Vegas team tournament, but that's his 5th best score. But everything else, he went to 2 of the FLG super majors and went to the 2 GW super majors, a 4th place, 11th, 6th, 10th place. And so just doing well, being a decent player and doing well in the super majors, and you're ranked 3rd in the world right now.
Yeah, he was doing pretty well at New Orleans, I think. I don't know what he ended up placing, but
I don't know either.
He got top 8.
did he? Yeah.
He hit Kelling and folded though, I think.
Yeah, he was 6th. So yeah, 6th. But I don't know. I don't think you should be able to just attend super majors and just go X and 1 or whatever and be that highly ranked, in my opinion. But
How do you think they should change it? Just like limit it to like you only get 1 or 2, super major scores that count, or
there's a ton of different ways you could do it, but an ELO type system is probably how you should fix it. But I don't fully expect that to happen. So
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, because if you think about it, it's encouraging all these dudes to attend the super majors. It's
for sure. Well, I mean, and like right there, Jack Harpster, I think he's in this. Does he live in the house with those guys, or is he in the same area?
Same area,
So-
yeah. He doesn't live in the house, I don't think.
But I mean,
Not that I actually know, but
I don't know either. But all he has score wise is super majors basically, and then I think 1 GT in the team tournament or something like that. So there's already if you want to do well in the ITC, just save your time and just do those events. There's no reason to go to there'd be no reason to go to a Cornhusker or a Bug Eater or anything like that. So it's
well, and my position on it is it's pretty similar to yours. This year I've taken 200-person tournaments, and this dude's ahead of me who hasn't won a thing. You know what I mean?
well,
Like
Root,
I've won 2 majors, and Root's won like 4 GTs, and he's behind him too.
I was looking at this trying to figure out where the highest ranked person was that hasn't attended a super major, and I think it's Root, who's in 13th place. I'm in 16th right now, but let's look at Root. He's in 13th place. He has won 4 GT, 2 GT major plus events, 4 of them first place, and then he has a 5th place at the team tournament, and then he had a 2nd place at another small GT. But so he's got 5 good scores, including 4 wins, and he's 13th place right now. And 13th place he is pretty significantly behind. He is at 1,216 points, so he is 82 points behind Harpster in 3rd. So that's a pretty significant yeah, but I mean it is what it is. I don't expect ITC to change it. If I was them, I wouldn't. So but
what you got going on over there, Ben?
Nothing.
I saw your wife next to you. Was a hand slipping down there at some point in time, or
No, my daughter sat next to me too, and they started having a discussion. All good.
so but anyway, I think the internet's it'll be fun when Reddit figures that one out after all they're bitching about the LGT. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how. It's always a work in progress. I do think for I don't know, man. I almost think for I heard someone. I just want to pass this thought by you guys and see what you think about it. But when I was walking out of the New Orleans Open, I heard someone actually say something, and then when I was out in the lobby waiting on a ride, I heard somebody say it again from a different crowd. But someone said something about we need a pro division, and I was like, huh, that's an interesting thought. That because if guys are going to go just clean tournaments all the time, and all they do is 40K for a living, does 40K need a pro division? Do you think there'd be enough people to populate a tournament if we did that? Or would you just run like an eight man or a 16-man gimmick, and just do like invitationals of some of the best and
Well,
and
didn't
throw
they
out
try
something
that
like-
last year or 2 years
Yeah.
ago or 3 years ago? Their whole pro tabletop thing, and it was like their Warzone Atlanta, but it was pro tabletop or something like that.
Yeah, that was a lot of folks invited to that though, I thought. And you could buy tickets to it if I remembered right.
I mean, it doesn't help when you have somebody like Richard Siegler playing the most broken book in the game currently.
Yeah.
So,
What was the top finishes for armies? I never did go back and look. Was it just Drukari and Admech?
yeah, I mean, there was Jakar and Admech in the final game, but I mean, it was a good spread. But that format is the way that GW does that. It doesn't actually, in my opinion, it's kind of skewy and how it presents the final rankings. So
You talking
I
about the
wouldn't-
pod system, or are you talking?
I'm talking about the pod system because when it's totally feasible for somebody who doesn't is not that great of a player to get 4 good matchups and then get in the top ranked pod when realistically they probably shouldn't be there with that army, for example, or whatever you want to call it. So, but I and then I also think, and I think a good example, a kind of example of this is Siegler's list with the planes. Like the Admech planes work very well. Like in general, those planes are undercosted in your average 40K tournament with normal terrain. On GW terrain, with how GW terrain skews the meta, those Admech planes are even more undercosted.
Yes. So my thoughts on that, I really don't want to get too much into it because, like I said, I was going to try and do a separate episode on that. But the I don't know if you saw, there were 2 setups that we ran. There was one day with the same amount of stuff on day 2, but they basically had like the -1 to hit stuff on the outlying lanes of the table, and then ruins in the middle. And one of them was kind of Hogan's Alley. There was kind of like a straight shot down the middle if you wanted it, which it wasn't bad. It was playable. There was enough ruins that you could protect your stuff. All the first floor was line of sight blocking. They told us if there's a first floor, just assume it blocks line of sight, which I'm for. I think armies need infantry to hold down objectives and stay alive. And I'm okay with that. The issue that I ran into, I did not run into Admech flyers, but I ran into orc flyers. I played orcs for 2 rounds. I won one, I lost one. And the problem with the orc flyers, or flyers in general that are decent and efficient for the points, Admech included, is when you have such a big footprint for a ruin, when it's like a 14 by 14 or a 12 by 12, whatever the
12 by
measurement was, all that plane has to do is move across the board and touch that ruin, and you can see everything in the backfield, and you can see everything behind the wall. You can see everything on the clear plexiglass thing. And while I think they did a good job on their terrain, it was nice, it looked really good, and I liked their system. Most games it was perfectly great for what we were doing. Like I played another Space Marine player, and we both used the terrain to our advantage in a lot of instances, and it came into account. We had some -1 to shooting lanes. We were able to hide behind ruins. We were able to go take objectives, based on what we were obscured with. But when you play those flyers with all the shots and all the shooting, and all they have to do is go first, move across the board, touch a ruin, and they can get anything in the back of your deployment zone, it's kind of a tough way to play the game. And that was my one complaint, I think, if I had it, about the terrain, was with the cheap Admech flyers, with the cheap orc flyers. I think it's a little bit too beneficial to them, especially as they sit in the meta right now. And I don't know if that's where you're going, Dan, or what you were thinking, but that was my takeaways from the event and terrain.
See, orc flyers, whenever I play them, if somebody doesn't target my flyers, there's going to be some of them flying off the board because they're not as maneuverable ones. But admech ones, I mean, you can virtually put those anywhere on the table every single turn with how they move. You know, like admech ones. I mean, admech ones are crazy.
I agree.
And orc ones, you know, a good example. It is light cover, but depending on the thing, and people are starting to get more wise to how to counter freebooters. Like, hey, put your small units in reserve. You know, put your tough shit in cover. You know, the killing power of the orc list, or are you T7 like Docket Jets running up there and trying to shoot like a T7 Dreadnought is not that great. So I think the orc stuff isn't as good, but the admech shit and that board is they're
Obnoxious. You can say it. It's obnoxious.
I mean they're just insane. Like I'd say normally they're like 40 points undercosted, but when on the GW terrain with the armies that people are bringing in that GW terrain, they're like 60 points undercosted for how fucking good they are. I think so, but I don't know. Look at was it Lenin's list was an all melee Black Templar list. Like that list would never work outside of GW train. So
Yeah, I heard him one round say like I was a table away and I heard devout push. I was like, what? And I was like, man, as I was surprised he's playing Black Templars, but
Bitch can't pilot him like me.
yeah, he wound up in the same pod I was in. So I think he took our pod though. He did wind up taking our pod. But yeah, I was kind of surprised to hear him playing Black Templars. Well, that's we could probably call her a night there for now. You guys got anything else to add, Dilly?
Why to me first? No.
Because you ain't said shit. That's why.
You guys
Get
have been
on the
busy
train.
talking. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I got is New Year's knockout. I'm getting that thing closer, you know, to set up and everything like that.
Are tickets for
page
sale
stuff.
anywhere yet?
Yeah, there's a whole link through it. It's not through BCP, it's through like Eventbrite, but the both Facebook pages, the Geekery and the New Year's knockout page have links to them. So I think you already have a ticket though. You should be good.
I did buy a ticket, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
But he's
You're
Oh,
good. There's like 12 or 13 people already signed up. We're probably keeping around 35-ish, 36-ish, I think is what I'm going for, just because, you know, Geekery's not a giant store.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that event because one, there's no Colin Burns this year. And two, I'm hoping not to get a snowplow again. So
if it snows, just don't go.
if it doesn't snow, I might just stay. If it snows, I'm just staying the fuck home.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
I got Jeep though, man. Jeep should be fun in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got hit last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so driving a Jeep doesn't do much for you there.
Yeah, it's very true. Good point. Jeep might be able to go over the curb though. Ben, you got any dad?
Nah, man, just I'm permanently erect from the Templar release.
Yeah.
So if I don't respond to you the next couple days, you know why.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get? Are they gonna get? I bet they're not sending out. I bet we're not gonna get a preview tomorrow, are we? Or on Saturday.
Probably not, because we
Yeah.
didn't get one with the orc book.
And
Yeah.
it's coming out in the box set, isn't it?
Well, I've
Yep.
already paid for my order, so it's hopefully on the way. So I'll let you guys know when I get it.
Word.
Dan, you got anything else?
No.
All right, tickets for Cornhusker are still available.
Yep.
It is the opening event for the Lord Marshal season. So if you're wanting to get an early jump on the opposition to compete for the Lord Marshal, I talked to Jason Horn a little bit today, and we'll get into some Lord Marshal business next week. But there's some cool things planned for the next season that you guys will probably be pretty tickled about. So I think you guys will like, especially top tier guys.
And we got 3 kind of not back to back, but close to it because Cornhusker,
Midmo is early November,
and then it's Cornhusker, and then 2 weeks later Midmo, 2 weeks later Renegade.
Yeah, and also I think the Denver guys are throwing a November event or late October event.
Between, I think the weekend between Midmo and Renegade, they're doing theirs.
They haven't posted it up yet. I don't know.
Wasn't it? I think it was.
I
Wow.
think Colin put was
He put
what's-
something in the chat, but I don't see it as like an actual event posted up.
Oh,
Yeah, we're getting fired up already, man. So we'll be ready to go. But all right, guys, go check out Ben at Advanced Warfare. See what he's up to.
Wait, real quick, Dan, why are you asking to borrow Scott's AdMech for Cornus?
Oh,
because I have 2 good Imperium scores, so I just want to get a 3rd good Imperium score potentially.
Okay. So you just want to borrow some AdMech. You don't want to play it.
No, I just want to. I want to have. If I do LVO, I want to have the option to try to do something for best Imperium.
Mhm.
you
Rather than
meta
only have 2
chasing bitch.
Well, if
Yeah.
he's using them, you can always use mine too. I don't think I'm bringing them up. So
What are you gonna play, Jakari?
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Dirty
Just
elves.
as bad.
So. Now you missed
I
it
mean, dude-
earlier, Sean. Ben and I kind of roasted Dan a
Yeah.
little bit for the.
Well, I've literally been trying to think of Imperium. Even ask Cookie. I'm like, what's a good Imperium list now? And everything I come up with, I'm like, nah, this shit.
What about your
this
sisters,
shit.
man? Would you ban the sisters for?
But you gotta pair her with something. So what the hell you pair him with? That's the problem.
Yeah. Are they
You
just-
pair him with just play all the killy characters, right? The mortal wound.
I
Are they
got
just
it.
too? Are they
Bring
just
your-
too?
I got it. Salmon.
What?
You're gonna take salamanders and you're gonna charge out of impulsors. That's how you're gonna win.
Ah,
And with the drop pod, what do you call them?
Stop.
Drop pods.
I gotta. David has actually earned a couple months of me not giving him shit, dude. He hooked me up in New Orleans, so I got to give that dude a little bit of props.
He did fairly well there, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he had it. Yeah, he did.
Was he in the top? He was in the top bracket. So.
I think. Yeah, he made the top 16. So
Yeah.
that list was weird, but he was telling me how it worked, and I was like, "All right, David, you do you, man." So
Had his
kind of-
salamanders. There was a lot of weird lists. Kelling's list was weird as hell too.
yeah,
So
yeah, I'll get into those later. So,
yeah.
but all right, guys. Well, remember that if wargaming was easy, it would be your mom, and we'll be back next week with another episode.